Hello there, folks, and welcome to week 5 of Valence League Split 1. We're here with some Division 1 action this week. We have got Quicksilver versus the United Poros of Runeterra. I am Ethan Huber-Hargreaves, and I'm joined here with Samuel Spitfire Warble. How are you doing today, Spitfire?
I was doing better until you called me Samuel. No one calls me Samuel, and I don't appreciate it, thank you.
So I'll avoid that for future. But we have an exciting matchup today. We have got second place Quicksilver versus fourth place UPR, and we are getting into pick and ban very quickly today, starting out with an Echo ban on blue side.
Yeah, Echo's just a good pick at the moment. Got another jungle ban coming out with the Udyr, however you like to say it. Still quite a strong pick at the moment. His nerfs really didn't affect him too much, so good to get that out of there. So Shen being banned on the side for UPR, as Jericho is quite an adept Shen player, played a lot of it this season, so no surprise out of there. Bans coming quick and fast now. So Gnar and Kai'Sa. Sash does play a decent amount of Kai'Sa, so good thing out of there. And Gnar, just a strong blind pick. We see a lot in pro play, so no surprises there as we go into the last ban, which is the Zac. So quite a focus on the jungle. Yeah, so this is what we were kind of expecting here. The Senna getting picked up. Both AD carries, strong Senna players. So no surprise that being first picked.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see whether moving into future games this comes to hinder UPR. Coming into the game, we were aware that Goldor not particularly a Kai'Sa player, and Kai'Sa's been a very common first pick on blue side throughout the last 5 weeks. And kind of pigeonholed into the center. We know Minecraft Drowned is a very big support center player. We will see the Skarner coming out from the Cub this game. Incredibly strong support. We've been seeing Captain Flowers talking a lot about this in NA, and we've seen the likes of Astralis picking this up to great effect. Wonder if this will be paired with a Thresh for some of the Lantern players. As there it is, or we need to see it. We have to see it this game. We're really going to be holding you accountable here, Quicksilver.
Yeah, the Skarner pick very popular at the moment. The UPR is definitely going to have to start paying their taxes, or else they're just going to, especially the Senna with no real escapes. You've got your E where you do go untargetable, but if you get close enough or she auto attacks, you do see her, and then you can just alter then. And Senna being very squishy. So the counter pick there coming out with the Hecarim. Hecarim, I feel like, is a bit of a sleeper in this tournament. A lot of teams that pick it do very well with it. It seems like it just seems like a very strong jungle pick at the moment.
Yeah, incredibly fast, clear speed. Does struggle a little bit if it doesn't get ahead in the first 15 to 20 minutes. But we're going to be seeing the Morgana counter pick coming out for Hare. Very common. Played into the Thresh, isn't a hard counter. It is very much a skill-dependent matchup, and you can certainly outplay it as the Thresh. We will be seeing the Mordekaiser coming out on the other side, though. Could be a little tough playing into the Black Shield. If Hare is able to play correctly around objective fights, the Hecarim should never be able to be dragged into the Death Realm, so it will be interesting to see whether we see any of these interactions going into those big fights, and Lucian will be taken away from the mid lane pool of Freezer.
Yeah, good. Also, the Morgana, also very nice into the Skarner as well. It's just another QSS basically. If they can get it onto the target without Skarner getting there first. I know Ellis is a big fan of the Morgana into Skarner, and so the Yone band as well. Just a strong mid lane pick. If they can play it well, that is. But we know Economics can play the Yone. So looks like UPA just don't want to play against that.
Yeah, a lot of mid lane AD champions being pinched here. We'll see the LeBlanc taken away. Have to think possibly the biggest one left open is the Tristana. So I would like to see that as a ban here. They're actually going to ban the Jhin out, so pinching the pool of Sash a little bit. Kai'Sa and Jhin being his two main AD carries at the moment, but I would be interested to see something like a Tristana come out from the side of Quicksilver here. It works as an excellent flex pick then to go into your final pick. You're not sure whether it's going to be going AD carry or mid lane, but we will see what's coming out. Actually, they're going to give away the ADC pick here and lock in the Xayah.
Interesting. It's a good pick, especially with the ultimate as well. Can dodge away from the Hecarim ult and the Morgana, I believe. Could be wrong there. But it's a nice safe pick with the ultimate. Unfortunately, isn't too safe, leading up with no mobility. Also, the Sash does play a lot of Samira and Ophelia, so I thought maybe they'll go down that route, but no, onto the Xayah Thresh. And we see Cho'Gath locked in for Nilan in the top lane. And we're just going to see their mid lane, which they're going to have to blind. Corki, a good blind pick. But we'll see.
Yeah, scales incredibly well on 3 items. There's a nice mix of AD and AP damage. So I definitely think a nice safe pick to round out the comp here. We will see what Economics is going to have to follow up with this. Does he want to take something like the Azir or the Orianna to play into the scaling? Or is it perhaps an Aurelia game to try and snowball, kill that Corki before he can get to the 3 items? It will be. So we are going to see the Blade Master in the mid lane this game. And we didn't get much of a chance to talk at the beginning before we got into Champion Select. So worth noting that both of these teams, top half of the table, are really fighting for those playoff positions. UPR coming off a disappointing loss last week against Deja Vu. So they are going to want to distance themselves from that 4th, 5th divide. Worth noting the top 4 teams go into the playoffs, so they do want to solidify their position in this a little bit more. Both UPR and Quicksilver are yet to play Horizon Shadow, and so who are currently 4-0 in the league. So it looks as though their strength of schedule is quite rough moving forward. So there's a lot of playoff implications going into this game.
Yeah, so building all out really. So UPR sitting at 2-2 at the moment. They've got Horizon Shadow and Ablaze, both teams who are above them. And then Quicksilver have got Horizon Shadow and Outlaw Vikings. So slightly easier. Outlaw Vikings only sitting at 1-3. So hopefully these should be able to pick that up. You'd expect both of these teams to try and make it into playoffs. However, with United Poros' loss to Deja Vu, Deja Vu are actually equal points-wise. So they're both sitting at 2-2. However, United Poro do have the slightly better game ratio. They've got a +2, whereas Deja Vu got -1. And Deja Vu have what we would say is an easier schedule for the next 2 weeks. They're playing Horizon Shadow today. And then Ablaze, which is the 3rd place team. And then the last week is Team Rocket, which is currently sitting at 0 wins. So you'd likely think they'd pick up a win there. So it is really going to come down to the wire here, that who goes through into that last playoff spot.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting moving forward. We wanted to throw out a little bit of a question of the week as well, so let us know in chat. If you could have any Champions Ultimate in real life for everyday use, what would it be? And give us a little reason why. We're a little curious. What about you, Spitfire?
There's only one correct answer, and that is Tank Edge. You are your own taxi service. I'm very lazy. Basically, just teleport yourself anywhere instantly. Great. You need to get up for work. You're just running late for work. Boom, there. Amazing. What about yourself?
That's such a boring answer.
You're boring. Shut up.
I mean, even Twisted Fate Ultimate would do that better.
No, but you're a big catfish then, and we all love catfish here. All the homies love catfishes.
That is true. I'm going to go with Zillion ult. Just play just live a little bit riskier in life.
Well, the thing is with Zillion, you have to know that you're about to die. Like, it's not going to help you if you get like sort of like sideswiped by a car that you don't see coming.
Yeah, I'm just particularly good with this. I love British Blazers' answer here with the Azir ultimate. Just push people out of the way. Oh, come on, Blaze! You shouldn't push people away. You know, sometimes you got to let people in.
Nah, social distance them. Get them away. Like, Karen's getting too close to you at the shops. Just push her away, easy.
To be fair, social distancing is Azir ultimate. Very useful. I do wish I could Shurima shuffle a few people in the middle a little. But we will be moving into game here very soon. What do we think moving into this about our lanes that we're seeing?
So, the Aurelia into Corki matchup is going to have to play very aggressive on the side of the Aurelia. Obviously, the Corki is just going to want to just scale up, get to that point with the 3 items where you're just doing absolutely nutty damage. But if the Aurelia can get onto them consistently, burn that Valkyrie, get a good gank in with the Skarner and kill him, I feel like this Aurelia could become a real threat. In the bot lane, again, the Senna and Morgana are just going to want to wait and scale. Whereas the Xayah Thresh maybe want to try and play more aggressive, but without Morgana shield, it's going to be kind of hard. The top lane, I think they're just going to try and get to 6. The Mordekaiser is a bit of a bully, but it's Cho'Gath who is a bit hard to kill, I guess. So as long as Nilan doesn't play too aggressive early game, this should be okay. It feels like, the UPRs want to scale more. They do have that better late game, I feel. Whereas the Quicksilver are going to want to get to that team fight, be stronger in that team fight, and just snowball them.
And as we're sitting here in the loading screen, I do just want to rack your brain on something. We are seeing Sash take the cleanse here. And I'm not quite sure of the importance of this. Obviously, I know it's laning into the Morgana, but once level 6 with the Xayah, you do have access to the Featherstorm to be able to avoid an awful lot of CC. And outside of the Morgana, there isn't a huge amount of abilities in this game that will be able to be cleansed away from. So I'm a little bit curious about your thoughts on whether that would have been more effective than the heal.
I think Sash's thinking maybe is that if they're going to go aggro in the early lane with the Senna W, with the Q, obviously Morgana Q is nutty with how long it can knock you up for. Whereas, and then the Senna, you can combo that quite nicely with the Senna W. Sort of one hits, you can hit both of them. So I guess maybe that's why they're thinking before the level 6. But maybe later game, the heal would have probably been more useful. You've obviously got the Thresh to try and body block. There's going to be the Maud, Skarner going to be running out their team. They're not going to be coming to you. And as like you said, there's not much else to cleanse. So I'd have probably gone with the heal in this situation. But maybe they know more than me. They are a high level at the moment in solo queue. So
and we'll just have a brief pause here at 10 seconds just so that we can sync everything up.
Yep.
Fantastic. And here we are in Game 1, Division 1. We have United Poros of Runeterra versus Quicksilver. Be interesting to see whether we see any level 1 shenanigans here. But it looks as though both teams are going to go for that tried and true Valence League, spread out at level 1 and not coin flip the game.
So looking down runes-wise, 2 particularly really sort of catch my eye are Freezy with the Lethal Tempo and Morgana with the Guardian. So the Morgana Guardian I can understand. You want to take that safer lane. You want to be scaling up like we said, just trying to get through it, keep the center safe. Like more aggro Morganas tend to take Comet. So once you get that binding down, you get the Comet proc as well, like guaranteed. The one that I'm not too sure on, I don't know if Corki's build's changed, but the Lethal Tempo I'd have gone Fleet Footwork. It's just, I guess, into a melee matchup, maybe you can try and get some more poke down, whereas the Lethal Tempo is a bit more safe. So maybe that's why the Fleet Footwork would be a bit more safe. So maybe that's where the thinking comes from.
Yeah, definitely. Fleet footwork would have made sense into an aggressive lane like Irelia to be able to just regen some of that health and grant the movement speed. We are seeing the Doran's Blade start from Senna here, so we are going to be seeing farming Senna, so slightly lower on the soul count this game, but a little bit more gold income, so we will be seeing the Kraken Slayer Rage Blade built a little bit earlier into the game.
Yeah, we actually played this earlier. The Fastering Senna, and Senna's build is just so expensive on the Fasting Senna. So it's trying to get that level of farming Senna. You can get the gold, so you get items quicker, but you're not getting as many souls. Whereas the other way around, you're getting all them souls from not farming, but your gold is slightly reduced because you're only getting it off your sickle procs, unless you go like super aggro and getting loads of kills early game.
Some nice dashes forward here. Oh, but the actual Blaze Reach is going to miss there from the Aurelia, so nothing doing for the quick level 2 trade. And we did just see, just to give a bit of context, some back and forward chatting in the pre-game lobby between Nineland and the Mordekaiser here. Jericho talking about kind of how useless they feel. Oh, nice little blade catch onto the center there. How they feel top lane is a little bit useless in the current meta, particularly in solo queue. So both of these players have been having a little bit of a laugh about how they were just going to farm for the entire game. So it'll be interesting to see whether they shake hands on that, or whether with these two AP bruisers they decide to actually go in for some of these tastier trades.
Yeah, I think I have to say Mordekaiser is probably my least favourite champion in the game. I just, whatever I do, I just can't play against it, apparently. Whenever it's on the opposite team, it's always like a smurf that smurfs on me. Even if I'm playing like ADC, just comes, ults me, I die. When it's on my team, it's garbage, worst Mordekaiser I've ever seen, and I can't play it myself. So just get that out of there, in my opinion.
Well, we do know that the Hecarim was just caught on the Scuttlecrab vision, so Skarner not going to make its way over there. Nice binding here onto the Thresh, but Xayah does have the lane presence to be able to get away with this. So the side of Quicksilver do have knowledge of the whereabouts of the Hecarim, whereas UPR still a little bit unsure about the location of the Skarner. But it looks like both junglers are actually just going to shake hands and fully clear. And we see the Hecarim go back for a reset. This is something that we didn't expect to see as much on this patch. Given the changes to jungle experience, it looked as though more gank-heavy junglers were going to be meta, but that isn't what we're seeing so far.
No, well, both these champs are just wanting to hit 6 as quick as possible. Really, both got very nice game impacting ultimates of Skarner for the pick as the hook goes wide, and Hecarim for the team fight, which you can also get quite good picks with. If you just fear onto one person, CC them open, someone else does the damage. So I think that's the feeling for both junglers. Get to 6, and then we can start having more of an impact.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of the power of this early levels in Xayah versus the Senna here, building up a nice little 14 CS advantage. Some of that will be recovered under the tower, but not a whole lot of it, as the top lane is still just trading abilities back and forth, but unlikely to see either of them drop without level 6s coming in first. Yeah, particularly with the Exhaust rather than Ignite, and the Guardian instead of Summoner Area. Oh, nice little stun onto the Corker. We're not really seeing any bottom lane priority out of UPR.
Yeah, they also went with the Relic Shield as well, start.
Excellent. Obliterate onto the Cho'Gath. He's actually going to be able to take him down with the passive. That actually gets him the level 6, so manages to pull off that 1v1 without the Death Realm. That's huge for the side of Quicksilver.
And that's why I hate Mordekaiser. It just kills you, just walks at you and you're dead. Cho'Gath could have probably fashed earlier, but yeah, gonna both back.
And we are seeing the side of Quicksilver here pick up this first Drake, and we're seeing the teleport in from the Mordekaiser just to quash this level 5 gank from the Hecarim. So nice little movement there from Jericho to ensure that Economics is safe and can likely get their first recall, sitting on a nice little CS total. So we'll be moving towards that mythic item.
It does feel like at this moment in time, Quicksilver is just getting everything across the map. Got the early Drake. Cho'Gath does have TP advantage over Mordekaiser now, as they saw him TP into the mid lane, so he just ran back top, so both top laners actually get there at the same time, but we'll have to see if they manage to use this TP advantage to a success. Maybe the next Drake fight, or maybe they want to do something bot lane with a deep ward, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think the question is going to be whether or not Quicksilver can come out with a large enough lead moving towards 15 to 20 minutes to actually be able to close out this game. As we've said, the likes of the Senna and the Corki are going to scale incredibly well towards 3 and 4 items, particularly with the range increase on Senna. So it's whether or not they'll be able to perhaps snowball these dragons into an early soul to grant them enough of an advantage. We are seeing only 43 CS off completing the early cull. Clearly, the Corki just wants to play safe and farm in this early game, and that is going to provide a huge influx of gold. As we are seeing Tenefu just shadowing down here on the Hecarim, but looks as though there's not going to be any opportunity to gank.
No, we do have 2 red wards for the side of Quicksilver. One in the river, one in the Dragon Pit. So they would only be able to get through the tri-brushes. We do see a on top.
Yeah, we're into the Death Realm here. The Grasp is flashed away from, but it looks as though he may be able to kill him under tower. Will the Obliterate be enough damage? And it's not. Oh, it's a nice flash in for a final auto attack from Jericho. So he will get his second kill of the lane. Top lane not looking so useless now.
No, Jericho's coming out swinging. 2 solo kills, both top laners burn the flash there. Yeah, but it's a nice lead coming out of Quicksilver as they do transition onto the Rift Herald here, with Minecraft Giant actually rolling up.
It does look as though Frieza doesn't want to let them get away with it so much, but he is standing on a wall, so may get caught out from economics here. Brilliant little stun. It might go too far though, with the Hecarim being right there. The onslaught of shadows is going to take down the Aurelia, and it's actually going to be Freezy that picks up the kill onto the Corki. So a little bit overconfident there from economics, and a brilliant answer from Tenefu.
Yeah, he's only sitting on the the Vamp Scepter. Those very squishy jumping in. I don't even know if Hecarim hadn't have been there, would have been able to kill. Obviously, Freezy still has his flash as well, so might have been able to flash up. But Hecarim was around to get the kill there as well. We do see Sash getting pushed in the bot lane with Minecraft Giant roaming up to help with the Herald, which they do pick up.
And I want to rack your brain a little bit about the Cho'Gath, as we might see a gank here from the Cub, who's just slid in through that little alleyway in the top lane. How do you feel about the Cho'Gath pick in this game? As I actually might just halt you there, as we might see a 3-man dive, as it's actually economics that's made his way up there. Will we see the stun come out? It looks as though he's being able to stall an awful lot of time. We'll see the stun into the Skarner ultimate, but I don't think they've got enough damage to take him down. But there it is. It's actually the Mordekaiser passive that's going to burn him down, and economics will pick up the kill. Nice little route onto Minecraft Drowned here. It looks as though they actually want to take the trade. He's flashing forward, and the Lantern's going to be taken by Sash, but is that going to be enough damage? The Blade's Reach is fired in the opposite direction, and it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick up anything from it. Not even able to. Oh, finally, the final auto able to take down Heya. But another kill is going over for UPR onto the Hecarim. It's going to feel really good for the scaling side.
Yeah, that was. I think Quicksilver played that as best as they could in that situation. Minecraft Jam flashing forward to bring Sash into the fight, to get closer to the Senna instead of having to flash away in response. It was very unlucky that Senna didn't go down in the initial trade. Ignite wasn't enough to kill her. And then, as we saw as well, Heya taking so much damage from all these all the feathers that had built up, going down by the return trade onto Sash as well. So I'd say pretty even trade, but maybe favouring UPR.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll go back to my previous point that was interrupted by all the action that we've had on the map. About this Cho'Gath, we've seen this picked up a number of times in Valence League, and I've seen very limited success on the champion. How do you feel about it in the current meta? As we will see Quicksilver likely able to take down their second Drake of the game. Will be uncontested, so I'll pass back over to you.
It's interesting. we all know what Cho'Gath wants to do. Is just get really tanky, just that teamfight monster, getting the execute damage with the ultimate. The problem is it's getting there's a lot of bruisers and top lane carries at the moment, as we see.
We will see the package straight into the binding, and perhaps the Onslaught of Shadows was a little bit overkill, but it will hand the kill over to Freezer. So UPR continuing this momentum that they've had and picking up more and more gold on the mid and jungle duo.
Yeah, it's looking quite nice for UPR. As we said, the scaling comp getting earlier advantages. It's about a 1k lead to the side of UPR, which I feel like they'll probably be happy about. Senna's, let's have a souls check at 10 minutes. We are on 17 souls, so as it is, the farming Senna's not going to be amazing, but it's just going to get stronger. Back to my point about Cho'Gath, before people keep fighting, I wish they wouldn't. Yeah, it's getting picked into a lot of bruisers. There is a lot of strong bruisers.
Sorry, we are just seeing a teleport down from Jericho, but the Black Shield is going to stop the hook. Death Realm onto the Morgana. Sashi's going to be able to pick up the Senna, and the Death Scrap will just catch the Morgana, obliterate, and maybe walk into the Thresh ultimate, which will pick up the kill, unfortunately, for Quicksilver.
Yeah, so the how the Black Shield works with that interaction is you get the hook, but the person who gets hooked doesn't get CC'd as they would getting dragged back. However, the hook's still in them, so they, as Thresh, as we saw with Minecraft Jammed, can reactivate it and just fly to them, and then they can flay as the initial black shield is being taken off. So yeah, very nice TP coming out from Jericho there to pick up 2 kills. I'm just not going to talk about Cho'Gath anymore, because every time I do, they just fight.
It's absolutely fine. Yeah, it will be interesting. A very even game right now, moving towards the 15-minute mark. As we've said previously, it looks as though Quicksilver are going to have to move towards an early soul, so we will likely see them in 2 minutes' time reset and try and move an awful lot of their team down towards this dragon. It is going to be an Ocean Soul this game as well, as we know, one of the most impactful souls. So it looks like both teams are going to want to fight for this third dragon. So we are seeing some mythic items coming through at this point. Nice and early into the game with some of these early kills. There's a nice little route down onto... Oh, and it's followed up by the Dark Binding, but taking out a 50% HP there on Sash. So nice little trade coming out from the UPR bot lane.
Yeah, obviously wanted to get some kills, get some gold back in their pockets after getting killed by Jericho. The Mordekaiser is a very strong position at the moment, 2-0-2 on this Mordekaiser. Talking about Cho'Gath, yeah, getting picked into bruisers, and the bruisers just tend to bully him a bit more because he is quite weak early game. Doesn't offer a lot. Does have that passive to try and farm back up, get some health back, but bruisers just try and bully him early, snowball off that, and then tend to be a monster in the late game. Whereas Cho'Gath is not going to carry your team, even with kills and things. He's just not as useful as maybe he could be, and if you've got that Fred bruiser, this just going to melt him anyway, as we see a bit of a trade in the mid lane.
Yeah, we're seeing the mythics completed here from an awful lot of the members. So Immortal Shieldbow on the Corki, Kraken Slayer traditional coming out for the Senna, Trinity Force already completed for the Hecarim, which is a huge buy coming into this third dragon, as the Skarner currently sitting without a mythic. And we will be seeing the Chem Tank coming out from Cho'Gath. It is currently 4 mythics to 1. Irelia obviously likes to prioritize the Blade of the Ruin King, and Xayah the Essence Reaver. So you have to think a little bit more power actually in the pockets of UPR right now. So they might be in a good position in 30 seconds time, as we have just seen the side of QS reset those champions and move towards the Dragon Pit. It looks as though UPR might be a little bit slow on this, as there's just 20 seconds left, but Corki does have the package, so expect to see that try and divide this fight.
Yeah, and we do have teleport advantage on the Cho'Gath, but it looks like he's walking down anyway. We do have our global Centaur, but it looks like, I don't know if they'll be there in time, as it is just spawning.
Worth noting, there are 2 QSS's nice hook going to land onto the Cho'Gath, but they're not going to follow up. There is a QSS on both Corki and Senna. It'll be interesting to see whether the Cub has been tabbing out and checking this, as it looks as though they've started up the Dragon, but we can't currently see it, so hopefully we get a slight pan down. No, the Dragon has not been started yet. Nice little hook onto the Morgana. Black Shield has finally been used. Brilliant binding. The cleanse out. The package is going to go straight through the team, but there is the Hecarim in the Death Realm. Nobody has fallen just yet, as the Thresh will finally fall. Cho'Gath able to take down the Skarner. Another kill over to the Corki, and it doesn't look like Jericho is able to pick up anything. The Jericho diff is not big enough. Brilliant blade call there by the Xayah, but it's not enough to be able to take him down, as it's a triple kill going over for Frieza. It is an ace at 17 minutes for the United Poros of Runeterra, and they will pick up their first Dragon of the game.
Yeah, really well played by Heya there, getting the massive soul shackles in the middle of that team fight, rooting I believe three people, maybe four. Just in the we saw Sash actually having to flash the wall to get away from the Corki, and
just interrupt you there, sorry, as we're seeing the Aurelia actually teleport in here to try and take down the Corki, but it will be flashed away from, so looks as though kind of teleport used for not an awful lot there.
Yeah, and Sash flashed the wall to get away from Freezy, so it means that the Xayah was totally useless in that fight. We saw that the fight was already over by the time they got back in and managed to start using the Blade Caller. And the cleanse got burnt out initially by the Morgana Q into Soul Shackles, into Ultimate from Xayah, so that's how they got away. But yes, Freezy, and with an amazing package to just get absolutely everyone. Jericho not able to do enough, so we see Freezy sit at 5-0-2. So this Corki is going to be a monster.
Yeah, and a couple of question marks for the side of QS here, as they are actually going to look to try and take down the Xayah here. The devastating charge, but the Lantern should be enough to save the Xayah in this scenario. Unlikely that they will try and take an awful lot more here. Yep. Moving into that fight, the Skarner does currently have the Herald, and this wasn't used early enough for the plates, and you have to think it could have been used to perhaps draw a little bit of pressure moving into the Dragon fight. Traditionally, you can use it mid lane to gain priority there, to move down towards the Drake so that your opponent has to answer. It looks as though they're going to have to place it now. Yeah, it's going to be placed mid, but not with a pushing wave, so might not actually achieve an awful lot here. Also worth questioning, Jericho did use the Death Realm onto the Hecarim, which, if the Dragon was actually engaged, would have made an awful lot of sense. But in a scenario where neither team was actually contesting the actual Dragon, he could have perhaps altered a higher priority member, perhaps the Corki or even the Senna, and or even just stayed out in the open and dealt an awful lot more damage using the Mordekaiser passive to the whole team.
Yeah, the Corki package was already down at that point, so it was doing a lot of damage anyway, but he probably wouldn't have been sitting at 5-0-2 at this point if he had been altered by the Mordekaiser. So it's a questionable choice. We understand where it's coming from, honestly, but with the Drake not actually being started and more of a team fight happening, it's probably better to get someone else, I would say. As we're looking at items, we do have Chem Tank complete on the Skarner, but still only 2 mythics on the side of QS.
Yeah, it's definitely not been the early game snowball that they were looking for in this game. I'm still waiting for the mythic to come out from the Morgana, but otherwise you have to think kind of ahead in items across the board for the side of UPR. And as the team currently sitting a game behind QS in the standings, this is definitely the start in game one that they would have liked to have.
Yeah, they've got a nice 3k advantage at 20 minutes. Should nothing to be sniffed at, to say. I'm trying to think of the correct words there. Let's have a look at the Senna Souls check. 41, so doubled it since we last checked. But sitting on the Kraken Slayer Quicksilver. I'm not sure if they're backed after the team fight, because they were sat on those items then as well. So we'll have to see how much gold they have in their pocket.
Definitely going to be a big recall on the next one, but they'll need to get that recall off fairly soon, as the next Dragon is coming up in 1 minute's time. Still incredibly important for the side of UPR to not give Soul Point over to QS. So we'll see if they can get the mid priority and try and get a reset off before this fight begins.
Yeah, we're on the last Dragon fight. We did see QS getting there first and trying to set up, but they were just pushed off with the sort of snowball of the 5 members just pushing up. As we do see them just taking the scuttle here with the Dragon spawn in 30 seconds. But I think we're going to have another fight here. Cho'Gath is joining them as we see, Goldor backing to pick up their items before this. No, it wasn't Goldor. I apologise. It was Freezy. I believe has the package now as well. So another big fight coming.
Yeah, excellent recall package pickup timing there from the Corker. Neither team currently posturing towards that dragon. It does seem like UPR are finally pinging that one. But it looks as though they may be looking for a trade here with the Baron buff. So they might need to just send one person to do this dragon while the others defend the Baron, as the Scryzorb will pick that up. And it looks like the Corker is going to be safe here. And this is the hell that is playing Skarner into Morgana. As soon as that black shield pops down onto the Corker, there is nothing that you can do in that scenario. And that is going to be a second Ocean Drake over to the side of UPR.
Yeah, Jericho slightly early with the grasp, trying to obviously catch Freezy, but was just far enough away that he was able to turn around and just get out of there, as the Cup does take a lot of damage.
Yeah, we're already seeing this 2-item Corkies doing mountains of damage here. So we're going to see the grasp actually land onto the Zaya, but the Lantern will be enough to take them out. Ooh, nice little hook onto the Cho'Gath, but doesn't look like the tower is going to be able to deal enough damage to the Cho'Gath, who is building up to some of these tankier stages of the game. Picked up the Bramble and a Giant's Belt. So definitely moving towards some of these scarier kaiju-like Cho'Gath games that we see so frequently.
Yeah, we have to look at the Aurelia pick, really. Wasn't able to get ahead. Is very much far behind this Corki at this point. And it's not going to be having that team fight impact that they're wanting. They're just going to get absolutely blown up by the Soul Shackles of the Morgana, CC'd, dead. Without having to do that, the blade stance that they're wanting. So we'll have to see. I think they're going to have to, Quicksilver going to have to rely on picks. They're just a bit too far behind on the team fight front, as we do finally see Sasha's Gale Force completed.
Yeah, and we're also seeing that Ginsu's Rage Blade almost fully bought there coming out of Goldor. So if you thought he was doing damage previously, wait until you see this moving forward. And yeah, it's a little interesting to see whether Quicksilver perhaps showed too many of their cards too early in the draft. We saw the R1 and 2 Skarner and Thresh, which was swiftly followed by a simple Morgana pick, which is a strong counter to both, which has really been a problem for the side of QS. Already 24 minutes into this game, we've only really seen one Skarner ultimate lead to a kill in that top lane dive, which got economics the single kill the Aurelia has picked up. So perhaps need to look at some of the draft priority and the ordering in which it is done in. Yeah,
Skarner is very, very useful with that ultimate, but just so easily countered by this Morgana, who's had a pretty much amazing game so far. Even though died a couple of times in the bot lane, those last couple of team fights have been very, very good. And Morgana's Black Shield is going to be useful, like no matter what point of the game you are at.
Yeah, I mean, if you put yourself in the Cubs' shoes here, who do you ult? Because you've got a Black Shield from Morgana, you've got a QSS on Senna, a QSS on Corki, Hecarim's devastating. The ultimate coming out from Hecarim can actually avoid the Impale from Skarner, and then you're left with the Cho'Gath, who could even get Black Shielded. So, Cho'Gath is probably the single target that is a viable option. So, you're stuck in a very difficult position here as the Skarner.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like a way of maybe getting onto the Hecarim, like doing a sort of a self-made maybe where the Hecarim just gets so far ahead of the rest of his team that he can get picked off with that Skarner, get even dragged farther back. But you'll have to think that hopefully they'd have enough communications to say, put the Black Shield on me as we go in. The other two carries can look after themselves with the Quicksilver. So unless for some like complete communication breakdown from the side of United, I feel like the Cub's a bit useless. Maybe doing his best Gilius cosplay.
Yeah, and we're even seeing the Zhonya's coming out from the Morgana, so as you said, those shackles into a Zhonya is going to be even more devastating as we move towards this third dragon for both teams here, going to be coming up in 40 seconds time. So it looks as though Freezy will be resetting and likely picking up yet another package. So once again, brilliant timing coming out from Freezy this entire game to make sure he's getting access to these items and packages around these dragon timers. It is kind of an undervalued skill that middle lane players have, but that is certainly something that shows that Freezy is well versed in playing the Corker.
Yeah, just looking down the side of QS as well, being far behind and then also not having any grievous wounds to counter this both two Ocean Drakes, maybe third Ocean Drake.
We are sitting in a very difficult position here. Oh, it's actually going to be a hook onto the Hecarim. We're going to see everybody flying in there. The package is going to divide them all as it's chaos in the river. But it looks as though UPR are coming out on top once again. And it looks as though Sash is going to get taken down as well. It is a 3-for-1 as it stands. But Minecraft Drowned likely to follow as well with another double kill going over to Freezer. Only Heya dropping on the side of UPR. It is a fantastic team fight once again. The blast cone over from the side of QS. I'm not sure how well that plan was thought through.
No, because they all got very spread out. I don't think they knew. Yeah, they were sat on a vision ward, so unless they caught them going in, they didn't know the whole team was there. They maybe were trying to rotate to catch the Corki in the bot lane, but he just came up with the package. As we see them taking the base here. Freezy's been playing absolutely amazingly this game. 7-0-4 on the Corki, which was actually blind picked with the Aurelia counter. You have to remember that. So Freezy was like, yeah, just give me Corki. I'll play until whatever. So it's just, you'll have to think what QS are going to have to change for this next game, because I feel like it might be a little bit one here with the scaling on the side of UPR, but still time. But yeah, sitting at sole point for the side of United Poros.
Yeah, and we saw Jericho have an excellent early game, but since kind of the 10-minute mark outside of laning phase, this Mordekaiser hasn't had a huge impact on the game. With Sash currently sitting 3-3 has had a minimal impact in these team fights. One of the only positive points damage-wise in these fights, but it is looking incredibly tough for the side of QS here, and looks as though with the Baron vision that UPR has been able to accrue, they will likely move towards that once they have enough priority. Looks as though they're going to drop the Cho'Gath down into the bot lane with the teleport, and we may see our next fight in the topside river.
Yeah, they're going to have to fight over this Baron. Try and maybe let Baron poke them out as much as they can, and QS going in for the cleanup. But they're sitting on 3 Ocean Drakes. As we see Jericho just posturing in the bush, but I don't feel like he's going to kill this Cho'Gath, no matter what he does.
Yeah, he cannot kill him quick enough, particularly, not like he could in the early game. As we're seeing pings towards this Baron, they do have pushing lanes in the mid and top lane with teleport on the Cho'Gath. It looks as though they're actually going to try a little bit of a bait in this tri-brush, as they know that they do not have vision on the Baron. As nobody is going to be heading towards this way, they do now realise that nobody's doing the Baron, so I have to think it may have just been better of them to start off with this Baron and perhaps try and pick up the Mordekaiser teleport for nothing, really.
Yeah, it's up to UPR at this point to sort of make the next move, I guess. You don't want to sort of get to this point where you can let Quicksilver get back into the game. So I guess that's probably why they're playing a bit tentatively. not starting up this Baron trying to get someone out. But they do have the scaling as well. So I don't feel like they're in the worst position. Nilan is just going to be unkillable at this point.
And we are seeing the Trinity Force finally completed here for the Aurelia, so finally does have a little bit of that power that she was missing in the earlier fights. So, you know, if there was an occasion in this game where they might have an opportunity, you know, having a little more power on that Aurelia is always going to help. But, you know, looking at the items coming out from the Corki here, it's hard to see how Freezy ever gets taken down before he can, you know, 2 to 3 shot somebody on the enemy team.
Yeah, it's Freezy is just a monster. He will have to get absolutely killed, maybe picked off. I would maybe like to see Quicksilver just go up and try and collapse on this Corki and kill him, shut him down, get that bounty, and then rotate into an objective, because they're not going to win the team fight if they kill this Corki, but they'd have to commit everything, burn his Valk, burn his QSS. But maybe it's just past that point at this point. Maybe
well, it looks as though they're going to try and go for an engage onto the center, but we'll just be able to slide a way out of there. And I would like to just point something out that I find quite comedic. United Poros of Runeterra actually using 4 Quicksilvers to counter Quicksilver. This is wonderful. We're seeing even a QSS on the Hecarim and the Cho'Gath. This almost feels smug at this point. This is the hardest game the Cub has ever had to play, as we will actually see a Death Realm onto the Morgana. The Black Shield is actually a little bit late, so this will likely be a kill over to Jericho, but he misses the Obliterate, and there's the Zhonya's. The Cub is running into the backline, but it doesn't look as though he's going to be able to pick up anybody. It looks as though the package is coming across the team, and it looks as though Economics is going to be over there on top of Freezer. The Cub is going to go down. Freezy is going to be able to take Cub down, and it's just going to be a complete wipe with just the Thresh left standing, and the Hook is going to go wide, and it's going to be another ace over for UPR. That is going to be sole and likely game for the side of UPR. Looks as though a couple of the team members are just going to hang around to pick up the insurance of that dragon, while the rest of the team teleport into the base.
I think that was probably the best situation that QS could have asked for in that point. Almost killing the Morgana, but the package wasn't overly as effective as the other 2 have been. It was fine, but they managed to get around it. But the Aurelia was on the Corki the entire fight, couldn't kill him, just got beaten by the Corki. They were just way too far behind at this point. So very, very nice game coming out from Poro. Some nice early games coming out from Quicksilver, so we'll have to see how they adapt going into game 2.
Yeah, let us know in chat who was your MVP of game 1, and we will be going on a short break before heading into game 2. Well, it'd be interesting to see how the drafts change. And a little reminder, over on stream 2 of Valens League, we do have HD Gaming versus Sacramentum. So we're in the break. Why don't you head over there and check out what is going on, and we'll catch you back here in 5 minutes' time. Thank you very much.
Hello, 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 and welcome to our game 2 between UPR versus Quicksilver. I am still Sam Spitfire Warble, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host Ethan Hooper Hargreaves. So we'll be getting soon into game number 2, as we did see UPR take the first game quite convincingly through Freezy's Corky.
Yeah, fantastic game from the mid laner of UPR. Incredibly confident over on the Corky. It was also a blind pick as well, was later countered. I say countered in inverted commas by the Aurelia coming out from Economics. So it will be interesting to see whether they put a little bit more priority in the bans, and they already are, as the Corky's taken away as the first.
Yeah. Corky, it's just a good pick, good blind pick, I guess. Just because we saw last game, tried to counterpick it with the Aurelia, but Aurelia didn't do anything. The next two bans, Echo, again, same bans from last time. They've actually banned the Skarner, so we'll have to see what they won't go onto it. Maybe they didn't want to pay the Skarner tax.
Yeah, I'm a little bit perplexed by the Skarner ban there. The Cub was not able to have any effect really in that game, was countered so brilliantly by the Morgana. Perhaps they're expecting the Morgana ban to come out, but you have to think they don't need to ban Morgana now. So a bit of a questionable decision coming out from UPR. They will once again be taking away the Zac and the Gnar. From last game's bans, that does mean that the Udyr is left available. So a potential first pick for the Cub this game. But no, it is going to be taken from UPR.
Yeah, so the only change out was Udyr, now Zac all got banned again. Corky and Echo as well, sorry. And then Shen Kai'Sa get through. So we'll see if Jericho does first pick that Shen maybe, or maybe first rotation it. Or maybe first pick the Kai'Sa for Sash, as we do see that happen.
Yeah, so often we see the Kai'Sa first pick. I think even with the nerfs coming through on the most recent patch, so many of the AD carries in this tournament have put so much time into Kai'Sa, given how strong it was at the start of Season 11, that it's just a comfort pick at this stage in the season. And will likely pick up more nerfs. And there we're going to see the trade, as Nileman will be taking the Shen away from Jericho. So a nice little play in the draft so far, as Golder will once again get their hands on the Senna.
Yeah, so UPR banned the Shen in the first game and decided to pick it this game. Following up with the Senna, as we said, both teams are good Senna players, so that's a nice first pick. But with the Kai'Sa being locked in, maybe they could have left it a bit longer. Probably didn't want to get to banned out. So we see the set that probably going up into the top lane could be jungled. Could also technically be support, but as we see the Nautilus locked in, very unlikely. As we see Tenfu on the Hecarim again.
Yeah, no huge surprises coming out of the draft so far. Looks like the side of QS using the counter pick of the. Have counter pick on top lane. They choose to take the set into the Shen, so it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. Can cancel the Shen ultimate very easily in lane, so Nileman will have to be aware of that as the game goes on towards the level 6 mark. Silas going to be taken away from Economics here. So already taken the Echo and the Silas away. We'll likely be seeing the Yone ban come through as well.
Yeah, the Yone ban and the Jhin, but they won't have to ban that this time. We'll see if maybe they take away Freezy's LeBlanc and his Lucian. As we saw last game, the Lucian gone again. As we see Sejuani taken away from the Cub. So we'll have to see quite a lot of jungle bans gone. So we'll have to see what the Cub resorts to. As we, which does mean the Yone is open, so maybe they'll have a counter pick for that.
Yeah, once again, we're actually seeing the Lucian banned away from Freezer, which I find a little bit unusual. Obviously, it's a target ban towards a champion that he's very comfortable on. But often you take the Lucian in a scenario where you have another source of AP damage. And on the side of UPR, you can already see that they've picked their top lane, ADC, and jungle, none of which have AP damage, and the support isn't going to be bringing enough damage towards the fights anyway. So you have to think that Freezy is going to be playing one of these AP mid laners. So the Lucian feeling like a little bit of a wasted ban here. Could have perhaps taken away another comfort pick like the Ari, which is a bit more, an AP mid laner that fits the damage profile of the composition better. As we will be seeing Heya playing the Leona this game, so a little bit more aggressive alongside the Senna this game. So interesting to see how that goes into the Nautilus Kai'Sa. And economics will be on Syndra this game, so no Aurelia this time around.
Yeah, so of Syndra, a lot of magic damage, just going to be pressing the kill button as we get later in the game. Can just blow up the Senna if they don't get into their mist quick enough. There is the quick wind up of the Senna, so they have to sort of preempt the ultimate coming out from the Syndra as we see Gragas for the Cub, or could be Gragas top with the set jungle, but I likely think it's probably Gragas in the jungle.
Yeah, I completely agree. We'll wait and see towards the 22nd mark, and here it is. It is going to be the Ari going over to Freezy. So coming out of the draft phase, I feel like UPR have kind of gotten an awful lot of what they're comfortable with. They were able to pick up the Senna, Hecarim, and Ari, all of which are comfort picks for their side. Even able to steal away Jericho's Shen. The only thing that I am curious about is this Leona Senna lane matchup. I think the Morgana fits with the Senna an awful lot better than the Leona does. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes in the bot lane, particularly given that Nautilus Kai'Sa is such a tried and tested synergized bot lane.
Yeah, Nautilus Kai'Sa is obviously going to have the lane priority here, I believe. Senna, Leona, I don't know. I'm not a fan because it does feel like both are trying to do different things. The Senna is obviously wanting to gather souls, get to late, but the Leona's got to be wanting to hit in Zenith Blades, going in, killing the Kai'Sa. It is good into the Nautilus, so we'll have to see how Heya does. Did have the better game last game. We'll have to see what the junglers prioritize, because we did see them of both junglers just farming up to 6 effectively and then ganking. This game I feel like the Gragas can have a bit more of an early impact with the body slam.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting to see where these junglers send their attention towards. I would also like to perhaps see the fasting Senna come out in this game. Laning into the Nautilus, it's going to be so much easier to land the poke, to be able to bring in those extra souls with auto Q combos and just transfer the farm over to the Leona. We'll be able to get tanky, and you're just going to scale up alongside the Kai'Sa. Senna is one of the few AD carries in the game that can compete with Kai'Sa moving into the late game.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see whether they go with that strategy. We don't see it very commonly within Valorant League. I think I've only perhaps seen 1 out of maybe 10 games of Senna go the fasting Senna.
Yeah, not many people pick it up. It is quite hard to play. It's a very different play style, trying to get that out, try to get as many souls as you can. I personally like playing Senna support with an AD carry, so you do have that kind of double insurance, I guess. Like Senna Kai'Sa, going to be absolutely unmatched in the late game. But Senna support, there's better supports to play at the moment. But yeah, so we're just going to have a quick update for the other Division 1's games playing at the moment. So there's 3 other games playing. There's 8 teams in this league. There's this game, which is obviously 1-0 to UPR. So then we have Horizon Shadow versus Deja Vu, with Horizon Shadow taking a 1-0 up. Horizon Shadow currently being unbeaten, top of the table, versus Deja Vu. Kind of expected. Then we've got Whiffs Elite versus Ablaze, with Whiffs actually going 1-0 up against Ablaze, where Ablaze is currently 3rd and Whiffs is, I believe, 7th, 6th or 7th. So that's kind of interesting. And the last one is Outlaw Vikings versus Team Wocket, with Outlaw Vikings being 1-0 up as well. So all these game results at the moment seem to favour UPR. obviously, they're kind of in the same position with Quicksilver as well, so both of them do favour it as well. But I feel like it's better for UPR with Deja Vu losing and Ablaze losing. Deja Vu being their closest competition at the moment, and Ablaze being just above them in that race for the 4 playoff spots.
Yeah, and we'll check in with those game results after game 2 as well, so we can keep you guys updated on what this playoff race is looking like here in Split 1 in Division 1. I believe if Team Rocket are to lose today, as they're currently 1-0 down, they will be out of playoff contention. So kind of been a sad season so far for the Rocket folks. Would be nice to see them pick up at least one series win across this split. And looking across Runes and Masteries then, this game, Spitfire, anything jumping out at you in particular?
Let's have a look. Not really. Nothing's like totally out of the blue kind of thing. We do see the Predator Glaragus, so he's probably going to go for a bit more damage focus. With the set, with the Nautilus, I guess you don't need to be the like Omega tank. That maybe possibly would be with like Aftershock, but everything else seems pretty standard. I can't fault anything really.
Yeah, and we are seeing double cleanse come out from the side of Quicksilver with both the Kaiser and Syndra. It makes an awful lot more sense this game playing into the charm of Ra, the taunt of Shen, and the multiple stuns that are going to be coming out of the Leona. But calling back to that game 1, the cleanse on the Xayah really didn't achieve an awful lot. So I definitely think that was a little bit of a blunder coming out from Sash. So does make a lot more sense this game, so we'll be interesting to see whether they can be a little bit more effective on the Kaiser. We will once again just have a brief pause at 10 seconds just to sync everything up. Yep. Fantastic.
Welcome into Game 2 versus United Poros versus Quicksilver. As UPR being 1-0 up at the current moment in time. So with them on the red side this game, it's the teams have swapped. I want to see an invade. I've cast, I think this is my 5th game casting, 4th or 5th, 4th series even, and we have not had any invades. And it's sad, and I'm sad. You got an Nautilus, just go for it.
People don't play like us in Clash Spitfire. They don't try and just coin flip the game at level 1.
So we both our days went 2-1 this week, which is not bad. We're both tier 3. Well, I'm tier 4 technically, but we played in tier 3 because the rest of our team was better than me apparently, which I don't like. But so in our game 3 on Saturday, we all of us hid in pixel brush by red, and the opposite team got behind us and came round. We managed to pick up, I think, 3 kills, and we had a Vargar in the mid lane who managed to get 18 stacks on his passive before he went to lane. And that was a very fun game that we absolutely smurfed on.
Yeah, sometimes those level 1s, they're just worth it. That's why you bring me into the team, Spitfire. That's all I'm good for.
Level 1. You're our main carry in our team always. Like
it's true. I had a good weekend of Clash personally and team wise as well, and I hope you guys did as well. Let us know in chat how your weekend of Clash went. As I'm going to see some great poke coming out here from Freezer. Looks as though he's going to be able to continue some of that brilliant form from game 1 into game 2. He's running the teleport on the Ara. This isn't a champion that we see anything from in terms of professional or even semi-professional play, really. So will be interesting to see how it performs this game.
Yeah, I think I saw one of the pro players or ex-pro players, I think it was Amazing, tweet out that they just don't think Ari is a champion at the moment. I'm not really sure why. It seems okay, but I guess just when you get to like high enough level, it's just so easy to sort of play around it and just make it an obsolete champion. But we'll have to see if Freezy can make it work.
Yeah, I think one of the issues is that the champion's team fighting isn't particularly strong, and there are so many other mages in the mid lane. Take the Syndra, the Orianna, that can have similar laning phases but perform so much better the later that the game goes in comparison to Ara. I definitely think it is a champion that is going to receive some changes in the coming year or two. As we're actually going to see, Hecarim is going to walk over this ward as they move towards the Scuttle Crab. So it'll be interesting to see whether we see the set run down here and try and meet up with the Gragas to contest this Scuttle Crab. Oh, it's actually going to be a nice little engage in the bot lane, but nice cleanse out. Dredgeline onto the center, but it looks as though both teams are just going to walk away. That is a cleanse out from the Kai'Sa, which is quite big. And looks as though Tenefu is going to attempt a double Scuttle Crab here over the Gragas.
Yeah, that's very good for the Hecarim. Obviously, we said that he wants to get to the 6, get that onslaught of shadows. Hashing and Slasher, and then really getting a nice team fight presence. So that getting double Scuttle over the Gragas, very nice. So I feel like Gragas probably wants to go for a gank, as we see in the bot lane, Dredgeline going on to the Leona, but I feel like they're just going to walk away, as they do.
Yeah, able to get away without using a single summoner there. More brilliant poke coming out with the Electrocute from the Ara, but also the Cub showing himself in the bottom lane there without resetting. You know, all of the jungle pressure and kind of timing is in favour of the Hecarim right now. Already ahead in CS. The team isn't quite aware of where he is right now. So, brilliant play so far from Tenefu once again.
Yeah, as we see a brief trade in the top lane. Obviously, the set was picked into Shen. You'll have to think that Jericho knows what he's doing, having so many games on Shen. Hopefully, he does know the matchup quite well and know how to punish the Shen. Shen early is actually quite strong with trading, with that the zone that we saw here as he gets pulled back in.
Brilliant face breaker there from Jericho, and he's going to win out on that trade. While the Shen can block the auto attacks if you're patient enough with the set to hold your auto attacks, you have an incredible amount of power, particularly with the CC and true damage that can come out. I did have my head in my hands throughout that, though, as Set was unable to pick up the cannon minion, which is one of the most painful things to see if you play any top lane. But he is still able to have that 11 CS advantage over the top laner of UPR.
Yeah, and Set.
Hecarim going to be coming in for a gank in the bot lane. Devastating charge will land onto the Nautilus, pushing him even further away from his teammate. So it looks so First Blood will go over to Goldor this time around onto the Senna. So getting a little bit more of an influx of gold than he received in the first game.
Yeah, that's going to be very nice for Goldor. Because we do see Freezy bullying this Syndra out here. He's been playing this quite nicely. As we see Tenefu transition into the Drake, which we will pick up. We won't be getting an Ocean Soul this time. We'll have to see how that goes. But just a very clean gank in the bot lane.
Yeah, I actually would like to see Freezy perhaps take a cheater recall here on the Ari. Was able to push in that wave incredibly quickly, but instead just going to go down and place a little bit of a vision. But yeah, definitely would like to see a quick recall coming from the Ari to try and pick up perhaps a little bit more damage to take one of these level 6 trades, as we do have level 6 coming out from the Shen here. So the Stand United is available. This is definitely something that is worth keeping an eye on as we see these bot lanes trade even more frequently. Yeah,
but the thing is with the set, it's got two ways to cancel that Stand United. He's got his ultimate and he's got the face breaker. So yeah, Nilin's going to have to position very nicely to, as we see, just walking face first into a bush here, taking a lot of poke out from Minecraft Giant, who gets stunned up by the Leona.
Well, it's actually going to be a flash into a Dredgeline. It's going to be a teleport down from Jericho, but there is the Stand United onto the Leona. Facebreaker is going to come out. Great taunt onto Nylan. It's going to be a Haymaker slightly into the wall, but it's a brilliant true damage land. Dredgeline is going to miss, and it is a lot of damage over onto the side of UPR, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to pick up any of it as the Cub just arrives to, shake that belly around.
So yeah, we've got TP out of the Ari. We've got Stand United out of the Shen and TP out of Set. With Shen already having to have TP to lane as we saw him get bullied out earlier. So Set did have that TPA advantage. So I feel like probably slight advantage to UPR, not to Quicksilver. I mean, sorry, with that having to only burn the Set teleport and getting the Shen ult from it.
It is, however, worth noting, though, that we have lost the flashes of the likes of Nautilus and Set, while the side of UPR currently still sitting on all their major cooldowns for their bot lane and mid lane. So perhaps a slight win there if they're able to punish that. Minecraft Drowned definitely playing very aggressive, walking into that brush blind and taking an awful lot of damage from Heya and Goldo. So looks as though this bot lane from UPR playing an awful lot more aggressive in the early game.
Yeah, I feel like Tenefu is probably feeling quite happy at the moment. As we said, he just wants to get to the level 6, which he has got now. And the Cub just hasn't had an impact yet. Gragas Cask is still very, very nice ultimates. Can do wonders in the in team fights, catching out people, setting up things, setting up ganks. But we just haven't seen anything out of him. We just see 2 failed ganks in the bot lane.
Yeah, but it does look as though the Cub will be able to take down this Rift Herald. I would like to see that be used before the 14-minute mark. Definitely very important to try and get down some of those extra plates. Does deal true damage to the towers, so isn't affected by the increased armor that towers have prior to 14 minutes. So if you do ever pick up a Herald in your solo queue games, try and get it to hit prior to the 14-minute mark. Also good to prep towers beforehand, so you can use it on the last 2 plates. There's a little better, as we're going to see a shift in from the Ari. Will not be able to land the charm, though, as Syndra is going to flash away. Potentially could have maybe saved that flash and cleansed away from the charm. It's a bit of a short cooldown, but was definitely scared of the solar flare coming out from the Leona.
Yeah, the obviously economics just played in respect to they didn't have eyes on Heya, who managed to roam up to the mid lane. As we see, a bit of a trade in the top lane, but nothing too serious. Yeah, I'd like to see a lot more of economics this game. Didn't really do much last game, just died on the Aurelia. So as we see a hook go wild, as we see...
Oh, it's actually going to be the shadows coming out here, and it's going to be so many stuns landing onto Sash as the Stand United is going to come down. Brilliant taunt there. Who will the kill go over to? Looks as though it's going to go over to Goldo this time, and Frieze will actually pick up Minecraft Drowned in the river. So they're able to pick up 2 for 0 there. 40 seconds before the Dragon, so perhaps a little bit too early to be able to prioritize this. But definitely a brilliant trade there from UPR.
Yeah, again, two more quick kills in the bot lane. Yeah, the Nautilus going very ham to try and started off with the Nautilus Q missing, and then just Tenefu in the right place at the right time, coming in again to just onshore shadows and managed to get both kills. One going on to Frieze as well, so he's going to be feeling nice. So we do see the Dragon spawning now. It doesn't look like anyone's going to go for it on spawn, but with the vision advantage is still favouring UPR here.
Yeah, if you're UPR here, you definitely want to just stall out for the next maybe 20 seconds, and you should have teleport advantage. The teleport for Shen is going to be coming up an awful lot earlier than the set, and you're also going to be waiting on the ultimates from both Leona and Hecarim, which you want to be able to have access to, as we're going to see more shifting forward. Oh, it's a brilliant predict coming out from the Ara. The Cask is going to maybe save the Gragas, but no, it's actually going to be going over to the Leona there. Brilliant prediction there from Frieze to expect the flash out of Cub, and that is definitely going to be the second Dragon going over to the side of UPR.
I want Frieze's aimbot. See whatever script he's using, because that was picked so perfect. He knew exactly where the Cub was going. Manages to pick up the Gragas after the flash. So very, very nice from Frieze. Even though Economics did play that quite well to make sure the Leona didn't get onto them. But that's the second Dragon here for UPR with a 1.5k lead, 1.7 to be exact, on the side of UPR at 10 minutes. At this point last game, it was very even. There was only, I think, about 100 gold in it. So again, UPR coming out on top.
Yeah, we've seen some nice trading from Jericho here in the top lane, similar to game one. Has really been able to land all of these true damage sections of the Haymaker, but it's just not enough to be able to shut down the team play of this set, as we are going to see. This is what we were talking about with the Herald. It's been placed perfectly here in the top lane to take down these final couple of plates, which have the increased armor. So a great player there from the Cub. Get extra 320 gold for himself. Economics with a nice little dodge out there, but actually the Solar Flare is going to land, and Tenefu is going to come in here and pick up his first kill of the game here, 104 on the Hecarim. Will likely be able to go back now and finish a 30-minute Trinity Force. So feeling very good in the jungle here, and that is going to be first tower over to Jericho in the top lane thanks to that Herald.
Yeah, so managed to get some gold back. Only it's brought the gold advantage down to only about 7k now, 9k-ish. So nothing huge.
I think you mean 700 gold. It's not quite a 7k difference here. 14 minutes.
You know what I mean. I've had a long day, and I am not a maths man. I am a maths man. Please don't take my PhD away. It's looking nice for UPR, but I feel like the set's going to be quite strong going into this mid game now. So we'll have to see if Jericho can have more of an impact in these team fights, killing the key carries of the Senna and the RE.
Yeah, we are seeing a nice CS advantage for the Kai'Sa here, but the 202 onto the Senna is kind of balancing that out at the moment. Already picked up the Kraken Slayer, as Jericho is actually roamed down here to the bot lane. The Dredge line is going to land onto the Leona, so much CC, and the Haymaker lands, but the kill will go over to the Cup on the Gragas. So interesting build here coming out from this set as well. We are seeing the Blade of the Ruin King first item, so not going to be a tanky boy up there in the top lane.
No, I think we do see a lot of like bruisery top laners pick this bulk up, as we do see last game with the Aurelia picking that up first, as we see a Ghost unstoppable Shen. I feel like we are
going to see Stand United brings the Shen in. It's a stopwatch coming out from Minecraft Drown, but surely he's going to fall anyway. But they've actually CC'd up the Hecarim really nicely, but he's still able to live with the healing from the Hecarim W. And it looks like Freezy is going to clean up this entire fight, as Minecraft Drown is going to drop for Hecarim's triple kill. Does he want the Quadra? It's actually going to be Goldor that's going to pick up the final kill, but Economics is going to land a brilliant Scatter the Weak to pick up the shutdown gold. And another kill onto the Hecarim. Economics coming in and cleaning up the fight, is able to dodge away from the charm, and is going to have a huge influx of gold here for the mid laner of Quicksilver.
Yeah, so that fight was very interesting. Started up with the Hecarim coming in with the Ghosts, the onshore shadows. Minecraft Drown did manage to buy a lot of time, managed to get the set in there, and it did look like he's going to get out, but without the Nautilus there, the rest of your team just gets burned down, as we saw Hecarim picking up 3 kills, and then Sash going down as well there. But I think UPR should have maybe not have tried to get that Sash kill. They didn't have eyes on the Syndra, who obviously came in and got the bounties on both the Hecarim and the Senna. But probably still worth it for UPR maybe, even though the goal difference is exactly the same as it was before the fight. It's about a K now.
Yeah, we do still have teleport advantage here to the Shen, so moving towards this Infernal Dragon in 40 seconds, and they will have priority here. We're going to see perhaps a Solar Flare come down onto Sash, but it's a brilliant Killer Instinct to try and take down the Senna, as he actually will be able to brilliant counterplay there, but the Onslaught of Shadows will pick up the Quicksilver AD carry, but the Haymaker is not going to be enough to keep Jericho alive, as he's going to drop as well. Not a particularly good cask there, which is going to force the Cub to flash away from Tenefu. We have to think all of the priority. Oh, a brilliant charm coming out once again from Freezer, as Nylena will take the second kill of the fight for himself. And 15 seconds on the Infernal Dragon. You have to think this is going to be the third one going over to UPR.
It feels like UPR are just have got these better sort of decision making and rotations. They always know what where Tenefu's are always in the right place. Always. I don't think he's had sort of a step out of line at the moment, except dying to the bot lane tower, but that was more just over aggression on the side of UPR. He's had some amazing ganks bot lane. Got 3 Drakes already. The UPR just always seem to be in the position to take a good team fight.
Yeah, and you have to think that there is an awful lot of standing gold on the map for UPR here. There's all of the tier 1 towers are still currently available, so they do need to start moving towards these and taking them down and pick up some of that free gold that is just sitting there. Looks so they are going to make another move over onto Sash, who, despite the scoreline, I was very impressed with the team fighting ability in the last team fight. The aggressive killer instinct forward to avoid the solar flare, I think, was an excellent move and probably the best decision that could be made in that scenario. Looks as though the Cub is going to move down into this bot lane, but that will be countered by Freezer, who is about to be seen on Vision in the Tri-Brush. So looks like we're going to see another fight.
Yeah,
the solar flare is going to Dredgeline onto the Ahri though, and it's going to be the cask is going to knock in the Leona. It will be taken down here by the tower. It's actually going to escape with 200 HP. Brilliant taunt there onto the Kai'Sa, and Minecraft Giant is going to drop as well. So it's a quick 3-0 for UPR, and this game is just snowballing out of control for Quicksilver. And it's actually the setters down here. It looks as though they want to continue this play. I'm not sure that this is the right decision for you, Jericho, as he seems to agree with me and back out.
All the sort of, you can see all the ducks aligning for Quicksilver there. The great cast, great hook, but the Shen ult was managed to keep Ahri alive. Was managed to get out of that fight. Nothing. All the ultimates were burned at that point. So a very nice Sen ult, as we see Tenefu going in onto Jericho. He's a tanky boy, the set, but managed to work that out.
I'm not so sure he's tanky enough, actually, at this point to deal with the Trinity Force Phage Hecarim, as he's still only sitting on the Blade of the Rune King and some Mercury Treads. So if Tenefu wanted, he probably could take that 1v1. We will see the Herald be dropped in the mid lane, so they will be picking up even more of that standing gold. Very nicely timed just before the Baron was about to spawn. So next fight likely going to occur in around 2 minutes, as UPR do have the soul advantage, soul point here for an Infernal Soul, which is going to be so incredibly powerful on the likes of Ahri, Senna, and Hecarim.
Speaking of souls, Senna check, have a guess how many souls we've got. It's 20 minutes. How many do we have?
I want to say 45.
Not bad, 57. So
okay, ahead of the mark of last game.
Yeah, it was about 40 at 23 minutes. So very nice coming out of Goldor. Got 4 kills and 8 assists. So it's looking, again, like the Senna's just going to be set up for success. Again, Freezy's having a good game. We're having more of an impact out from Nylan, which is this game. He didn't have a bad game last game. Was just sort of tanky on the Cho'Gath. I know he did have a bit of a really bad early game. But he managed to make up for it later with the team fights of the tanky Cho'Gath. But yeah, it's looking again like
we're going to see a trap here onto Sash. It's so sad. The charm is going to take him down, and it's actually going to be a kill over to Tenefu. Actually, it's going to be the onslaught of shadows to knock in the Nautilus into the team. Looks as though Freezy wants more. Tenefu is going to try and use the devastating charge, but he's just going to use it to escape. So another 2 kills as the bot lane pick up their 9th and 10th deaths on the side of Quicksilver. This has not been their series. And with just a minute left on that soul, things are looking bleak for the side of Quicksilver.
Yeah, Goldor and Hay has been amazing this series, I think, so far. Always getting some really nice picks of team fighting on the Morgana, now this time on the Leona. Goldor being on the Senna both times. So you have to think, maybe would you maybe have tried to have got rid of that Senna last game, from last game into this game?
I'm not sure that it would have been my priority, but it was available as a first pick for Minecraft Drowned. They opted to use the Kai'Sa instead. So perhaps it's needs a bit of a check on whether this Kai'Sa is worth the first pick priority in these matchups. So once again, they also handed over the Shen for that, which UPR have been able to pilot wonderfully, with Jericho, being the kind of a Shen one trick. So it looks as though there's going to be a taunt just slightly missing onto the Cub, but it is going to blow his flash. The Solar Flare is going to be down for this dragon fight, which is going to be a little bit rough, but Minecraft Giant is likely going to get taken down here. Actually, a brilliant ultimate out from him to knock 3 up and be able to get away from that little fight. It's going to be an interesting cask that's going to knock Goldor into the entire team. And Sash is actually going to dash all the way in there. The Cubby's going to pick up the kill onto Goldor, as Heya is likely going to fall as well. Brilliant dredge line onto the Shen. But Freezy has so much damage on the Ahri that he might be able to get away with this. Set is actually going to pick up the final kill onto Heya. And that actually might be the dragon over to the side of Quicksilver.
Yeah, I know you said interesting cast, but that was like a turning point. That was an amazing cast. The Senna got blown back into the into the side of Quicksilver, and obviously getting the Kai'Sa stacks, Kai'Sa passive onto it meant that the Kai'Sa could then follow up as they did and managed to kill it. So they got the flash and killed her, which is very nice. They did manage to kill Leona as well, not as important, but did transition that into a Drake. So that was perfect. That was what Quicksilver needed, and I was coming back off a very nice Gragas Losment from the Cub.
Yeah, and a bit of a misstep by Goldor. Flashed after the cask had already landed. So, maybe wasn't expecting it to be as effective as it was, but you have to think, with a flash away from that, UPR would have likely been able to pick up that Dragon's Soul. So they're still in a commanding position in this game with around a 4k gold lead at 24 minutes, but that may be a window back into the game for Quicksilver. So pressure likely going to go over towards this Baron for both teams as they try and set up vision and clear out the opposing team's boards as well. The Cub here going to want to pick up this Scuttle Crab, but looking at major cooldowns, a lot of flashes down for the likes of Senna and Leona, whilst Sash has his available, but Syndra currently without, so that will be a big target for Tenefu.
Yeah, Tenefu has been playing very nicely on this Hecarim in both games. Sitting at 6-1-8 this game, already got that Sterex and Trinity Force completed. So again, I would have to give it to UPR for the actual team fight. But we haven't actually seen many team fights here. It's been like one or two members getting picked off, then we get the teleports in afterwards. So it's more like a sort of 2v2 than it's a 3v2. 3v3 back to a 3v2 if someone dies. So it would be nice to see like a full 5-on-5 team fight for the side of UPR if they do want to try and snowball this game and get the win.
Yeah, and I'm curious about Sasha's decision to pick up the Gale Force on Kai'Sa. I'm personally a big fan of Gale Force on Kai'Sa. I think it's brilliant to reposition and perhaps dodge some of these skill shots coming out from UPR. But with the likes of Shen, Hecarim, and Leona on the opposing side, I think perhaps a Kraken Slayer would have been a bit more effective to be able to cut through them in some of these team fights.
Yeah, as we saw with the last team fight, though, I think Sash is probably wanting to try and kill Goldor, which is what they did in the last team fight. So when they are in the back line, they won't need Leona. Hecarim, Shen might not be there, so maybe that's where they're thinking.
Oh, we're seeing a nice little Baron bait come out here, and it looks as though they're going to be able to pick up Heya. I love the vision setup here for the side of Quicksilver. Well, they have taken the teleport out from Frieza, as they're not really even thinking about doing the Baron. They were just threatening it, as they are going to start it up now. I would have perhaps liked to see them backed off, but they do believe that they have the 5v4 advantage, and they will be able to take this. Looks as though UPR do not want to give this up for free, though.
And there is a red ward in the back of the pit for UPR.
Oh, it's another cask. Oh, and the nice little assassination there with the Killer Instinct, but Sasha's going to follow. Nice little taunt onto 4 members there from Nilan, but it's actually going to be quite a very close fight here, as the Shen is likely going to drop on the back end via the Cub, but Tenefu has not had enough. He is going to be taking down 2 more members, and it's just Minecraft Drowned that he's going to be left alone. So while Sash is able to get that quick kill onto Goldor with the Gale Force Killer Instinct combo, it's not enough. Goldor is not the primary damage dealer in these team fights. Tenefu is too much of a threat.
Tenefu and Freezy just having a very nice time here. 4-0-14 on the Ahri. Been involved in 18 kills. It's as soon as... So, the initial trade, Sash for Goldor, is fine because both AD carries, unlike on the outskirts, you look at it, it's like both AD carries have gone down. But on the side of Quicksilver, they don't have anything else apart from Sash. Sash is literally all their damage at the moment. this Syndra isn't doing anything at the moment. They've obviously got that ult, which cannot take down one other person, maybe. But the Shen, the Hecarim, the Leona are all so tanky, and this Syndra just does nothing against them. Whereas the Ahri's managed to dance around, manages to just whittle it down with these Qs.
Another attempt from Sash. They're going for the same play once again. It's going to be a 3-man body slam, but the Dawning Shadows is likely going to take down Cub, and you have to think that's going to be Soul over to that side, and Minecraft Giant is going to follow suit. Jericho going to fall as well. It's going to be a triple over to Goldor, who says not this time. He's not going to be caught out by the same trick 3 times in a row, and that is Infernal Soul to the side of UPR, and they're likely going to take it right over to the Baron.
I didn't actually see what was that Kaiser W, do you know?
I think it was the cast had yet to come out this time from the Cub, so just incredibly aggressive play from Sash. Thinks he can win the 1v1, but isn't aware, doesn't have the vision that there are multiple other people around. And like you said, I don't think the trade is worth it in the end. Yes, you take the Senna down, but you're still leaving your team versus a 9-1 Hecarim, and that is going to be Baron going over to the side of UPR at under 30 minutes. They'll be wanting to close this game out before the Elder Dragon in 5 minutes' time.
I don't want to say, but I think it might be game at this point. It's a 9k gold lead for the side of UPR. They've got Infernal Soul on the Ahri and Senna. Senna's got her rapid fire. She's going to be absolutely clapping people at this point. The Ahri Q's got to be doing so much damage. Even before that, it was just burning through people. 3 completed items on both of them. Hecarim's going to be still doing lots of damage. He hasn't fallen off.
There's also no anti-heal coming out from the side of QS. Once again, this was an issue that we pointed out in Game 1. And with the Hecarim having the natural healing as well as the Death's Dance now, and the Senna healing across the team, it feels a little disappointing that nobody has been able to pick any up. Jericho here is going to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, but he's actually going to face breaker both of those things towards himself, but he's still going to fall to the damage of Jericho, who's going to be able to get away through the ultimate, and it's actually going to be even more going down here. The Solar Flare is going to slow too, as Heyer is actually going to try and flash into the base. There it is. The Shen is going to pick that up, and Tenefu is going to take down the counterpart, give it a little bit of a dance emote, and it looks as though that is going to be game over to UPR. Only Sash and Minecraft Drowned are able to defend the base here, but I don't think they're going to have the damage or the protection to be able to do anything.
No, so...
Brilliant taunt coming out. It's going to be a Killer Instinct away, but the kill is going to be picked up by the Shen, as Freezy is going to complete yet another ace. 5-0-19 there on the Aura. Brilliant performance from the mid-jungle combo once again. And it's actually going to be 4th place UPR taking down 2nd place QS to even themselves up in the standings.
Yeah, very, very nice series out of UPR. They took leads in both games and didn't let go. The never really thought there was going to be the comeback effectively. It was just very strong out of it. So we do have some updates of the other games that happen. This is very good for UPR. Whiffs Elite 2-0 over Ablaze. That's really nice because they're above them, so it means that UPR can keep climbing. And Outlaw Bandits beat Team Rocket 2-0, which we kind of expected. But that means there's going to be another team in that playoffs contention battle. They're just going to be... There's so many teams in that sort of going for 3rd, 4th now, with Quicksilver losing. They're going to be brought down. UPR going up. Whiffs Elite going up. Ablaze going down. It's just everyone's going to that middle of the pack.
Yeah, and we will be having an interview coming right up, as we're going to be welcoming Freezer over to the team, the mid laner from UPR. So we'll be able to ask a couple of questions there. So Spitfire, get them ready when you can. Welcome, Freezer. Are you here?
Yeah,
hey.
hello.
Hi. Well, very well done for that game. Both games very clean out from your team. Going back to the first game, So we saw the Corky blind pick from you. Was there anything that you sort of didn't want to face with the Corky, or was it kind of like I can play this into anything?
I mean, I think especially in VL when we're this ranked this Elo, I think comfort matters a lot. Therefore, the echo bans. But like other than that, I don't think Corky has that many bad matchups. So I was fine blind picking it into anything.
Okay, and is the Ari another the comfort pick of yours?
Yeah, we were looking at the options for the team comp. Like we had good ball delivery for Oriana, and like there was a lot of other good options. But we ended up going with Ari just for the pick potential, and of course a big comfort pick of mine. So yeah, I would say we went for the comfort in the end.
Nice, yeah. You certainly performed on both of them.
Thank you.
Yeah, and moving towards week 6, you guys are going to be taking on Horizon Shadow. You do have quite a difficult strength of schedule moving into the final 2 weeks, with I believe it's a Blaze coming after that. So 2 of the top teams so far in Division 1. How are you feeling moving towards these games?
Yeah, I mean we had a rough last 2 weeks with 2 losses. But I think we had good scrims this week, and we showed up today, played some really clean games with low mistakes. And I think for the upcoming weeks, Horizon is a really strong team for sure. But after today, I think we have very good chances of beating them.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I'm also a little curious, moving into game 2's draft. You guys left open both the Kai'Sa and Shen. Were you expecting them to leave the Shen open so that you could steal that away?
I mean, we were considering leaving Udyr open as well, but they didn't ban it, so we felt like the champ is way too strong to leave open. And then we left both Shen, Senna, and Kai'Sa open, because like they can only pick one of them, and hopefully we had some other power picks prepared. So like we were happy when they picked Kai'Sa, because that that we expected them to pick Kai'Sa. So we got the Shen, Senna, and we were really happy with it.
Fantastic. We were a little confused by the Skarner ban in game 2, because it seems like you guys played around the Skarner so brilliantly in game 1, particularly with the Morgana pick. So just thought you'd shed a little light on the Skarner ban in game 2.
I mean, it's mostly because of like the champ is super annoying. I think he could have played the game way better than he did, and like maybe going for some more crazy flash R plays, but like the Skarner attacks as well, it adds up to a lot of gold in the end. And like for a Corki, for example, it takes up an item slot, and like later on into the games, you need that extra item slot for the extra damage. So yeah, I think that the tax was mostly what we banned it for.
Fantastic. It makes a lot of sense. Thanks for shedding some light on that. Any more final questions, Spitfire?
No. So who do you think is going to be... So I presume you think you're going to go into playoffs. Which of the other 3 teams you think are going to join you?
I'm 100% sure Horizon is going to make it to playoffs, and they're going to be a finalist for sure. I think we're up there fighting for a spot. I mean, I think if DV managed to get their team together, I think they're also pretty solid. And then there's a lot of wild cards, I feel like. Quicksilver had some good games. Blaze had some good games. With Salid beat us pretty hard. So, like, I think the 4th spot at least is really up in the air.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see when it comes to these last 2 weeks too, who joins you. But I think,
for sure.
Yeah, well, we wish you the best of luck in the upcoming games, and hopefully you do make it to playoffs.
Thank you.
Thank you. So that is going to be it from us today. Thank you for joining us for United Poros of Runeterra versus Quicksilver with a 2-0 win to United Poros of Runeterra. That is a mouthful. I, as always, have been Sam Spitfire Warble. You can find me on Twitter or Twitch occasionally. I'm joined by my good friend Ethan Hoop Hargreaves, who is on, again, Twitch and Twitter. And thank you. Anything to add?
Yeah. Ever need any TFT tips? That's where I'm at. Not so much Summoner's Rift, but yeah, if you ever need those TFT guides.
Yeah, if you need help with your chemistry homework, I think that's probably my expertise at the moment. But yeah, so thank you for everyone for joining us, and hopefully see you soon.